The streak continues. We're now at 7 straight days of sunshine in Edmonton since the World Juniors started last Tuesday. Today, the final day of group play. Canada-Finland for first place in Group A. Team Canada wearing their black jerseys for the first time in this tournament. Ridley Greig has been a difference maker from day one for Canada. They'll count on him even more today. And Finland, like the Canadians, 3-0. One of these perfect records will get its first blemish tonight. As we say hello, Canada, and welcome once again to the Summer World Juniors here on TSN. James Duthie alongside Bob McKenzie, 1995 World Junior gold medalist Jeff O'Neill, and 8-time Olympic and world champion Cheryl Pounder. And yes, we figured it would come to this. Yes, there have been some upsets and surprises lower in the standings, most notably Latvia finishing an impressive 3rd in Group A. But when the schedule came out, we looked at it and said, yes, it'll probably be Canada-Finland for first place in the last day of group play, and that's where we're at. These two nations have won 6 of the last 8 gold medals at this tournament. The winner tonight maybe gets a slightly easier path to another one. Gordon Miller and Mike Johnson, get you ready.
Thank you, James. The question before this tournament began, Mike, was how would Canada's defense hold up? Well, it gets its first tough test this afternoon, and Olen Zellweger and Donovan Sebrango will be front and center.
They will be, and they've been really good up to this point. They've emerged clearly as Canada's #1 pair, and they've been good, but tonight they'll have to be better than that because they'll be challenged, and they complement each other really well. Kind of the steady, physical, calming presence of Sebrango, who played a couple of years professional hockey in the American League, and he'll be challenged in his own end to be good defensively. With last chance, you'll probably see a whole bunch of Ratu's line, the #1 line for Finland. They'll have to stop them, and then Zellweger, maybe a little bit more of an offensive player, skates the puck up, joins the rush, but also does a good job with his feet to defend as well. They play both around 20 minutes, the most amongst defensemen for Team Canada. They'll probably have to play more than that and play against the toughest competition they've faced so far.
So it's August 15th, not quite New Year's Eve. This was the New Year's Eve matchup in the 2021 tournament. Canada won it, but the Finns have beaten Canada 9 times in regulation at the World Junior Championship. James?
All right, thank you, boys. Let's have a look at Team Canada's lineup for this one. Dylan Garand, of course, starts in goal. A team tournament leading .965 save percentage over his 2 games. Donovan Sebrango leads all Canadians in ice time at .1941 a game for the blue liner. And Mason McTavish is the tournament scoring leader. 6 goals, 10 points in 3 games. The moment of the tournament so far, that brilliant Michigan goal by Kent Johnson. He also had a terrific first assist against Czechia. What do you think he has in store for an encore?
Well, right now, Kent Johnson is my guy, Jimmy. He's on my team. In order for it to stay that way, he has to forget about that play, as awesome as it was, and understand it's probably not going to happen again. Don't go out there looking for this type of play. It was an unbelievable moment, but what his job is the rest of this tournament, and it's going to be in his professional career, is to be an offensive producing guy in big-time moments, and that play is only going to come around once in a while.
The Othman McTavish Berard line has had spectacular moments as well. 4 even strength goals in the last couple of games. But is there room for improvement as these games get bigger?
Yes, and there's no question that head coach Dave Cameron is challenging not only his top line of Mason McTavish, Connor Bedard, and Brendan Othman to be even better than they have been, which is saying something because they've been so dynamic offensively. But what he wants to ensure is that that top line, as well as the whole team, now that you're up against a Finnish team that is very good without the puck, he wants to make sure that there are good exits from the zone, they get through the neutral zone, and they play a more connected, direct north-south game than they have against some of the weaker opponents.
We saw Ridley Greig off the top. He's been a spark plug throughout the tournament. Does his third line play a more pivotal role against these Finns?
Well, they certainly do. Now, this is a physical line. You know that they can play tough along the wall. They're effective on the cycle. And Ridley Greig is the driver. He is my guy, as he gets below the goal line. And he just has that ability to separate and create in the offensive zone. He knows how to work away from the puck, how he gets opportunity, actually leads in scoring chances off the rush. And then, of course, his timing, his ability to get to the mid lane of the ice, redirecting right there, right in the net. So very effective third line led by Ridley Greig.
I don't know. I'm sure he's one of those guys too. And whoever has a good game today, you can pretty much guarantee on the post game he'll be one of those guys. The winner of this game plays Switzerland in the
final day of the opening round of the World Junior Hockey Championship Summer Edition, and it's Canada against Finland. 2 great rivals met in the gold medal game at the World Championship last spring, and now back at it at the World Junior Championship. Both teams come in with 3-0 records. The officials are Robert Hennessy of the United States, Christopher Holm of Sweden are the referees, Andreas Hofer of Germany, and John Ray of the U.S. are the linesmen. Starting in goal for the Finns is 20-year-old Levi Merolainen, the Ottawa third-round pick, played for Kingston in the Ontario League last year. He's got a .913 save percentage so far in the tournament, a 2-0 mark with wins over Latvia and Czechia in a shootout. And for Canada, once again, it is Dylan Garand, the 19-year-old from Victoria, BC, is a fourth-round pick with the New York Rangers. A .957 save percentage leads the tournament so far. Antti Pennanen is the head coach of Team Finland for the second time, was an assistant coach on their 2016 gold medal team. Dave Cameron, the head coach of the Ottawa 67s, former National Hockey League head coach with the Ottawa Senators.
Wait for this guy, Ed. He's sneaky. He's sneaky. Hold on. I'm going to blow my whistle. Stick down. Here we go. No. Stay.
A hotly contested opening faceoff.
Not quite the usual pleasantries we've seen every other game.
A little more tension in the air as Zellweger plays it ahead for Ridley Gregg. As Mike mentioned, Canada is the home team, has the last change here. So it's Trent Zellweger and Sabrango back on the blue line. Brought out by Joachim Kemmel, the Nashville first-rounder. 20 of the 25 players on the Finnish roster are drafted.
They have a stacked team, plenty of good players, and a potent first line.
Joshua Waugh plays it back across. The Finns got everyone. So basically, anyone who wasn't hurt is here.
And you can get a sense of what Canada is thinking with Dave Cameron. Ridley Gregg is going to act as a bit of a checking line going up against Atu Ratu, who's been dominant for Finland.
Brought out now by Roba Järventie, the Ottawa second-round pick, comes sliding in. Järventie feeds it back in front. Simon Taimo pokes it back. That pass almost knocked down. Simon Taimo whacks at it. Good chance for Roba Järventie, who played for Belleville in the American League last year. Jack Thompson slides that back to Seeley. And Connor Bedard makes it off the glass, but that's knocked down and fed back in by Joel Mata. Finns open with a win over Latvia 5-1, and against Czechia got down 2-0 early. Merolainen struggled, but they came back to win that game in a shootout and beat Slovakia 9-3 behind 5 power play goals. Their power play has been lethal so far in the tournament.
Discipline will be key when you see an opponent with a power play at 60+% as Finland is right now. And talk about the opening faceoff. That's one way to set the tone. I'm going to win the draw, run you right over. Hope you're ready to battle, because Ridley Gregg is certainly going to bring it that way against Ratu every time he can.
Kent Johnson with a face-off in the defensive zone, scored that lacrosse goal against Czechia in Canada's last win. Broke a 1-1 tie.
Tournament buzzing that goal.
Johnson with a face-off against Oliver Kapanen. His uncle is Sammy, his cousin is Kasperi. The whole family's played in the Finnish League at some point. His dad was a long-time Finnish League player as well. He's got a cousin in that league. Sammy Kapanen played until he just couldn't play anymore. His body, he left everything on the ice in the NHL. Long shoot in, and Garand holds on to that little snow shower there from Samuel Helenius, whose dad also played in the NHL and brings the equally large frame at 6'6".
He knew exactly what he was doing there. Can't call it a penalty because the puck was a little bit late in being covered by Garand. So Helenius is saying, I'm just trying to get an offensive zone face-off, but players know what they're doing. He can skate behind the goaltender, or he can throw some snow into the ear. Will always, both of them, both Helenius and Lucas getting around the goaltender. Now Dave Cameron's having a little chat about that right now.
It can be a penalty. It's rarely called, but if it's really egregious,
super intentional, yeah, they can occasionally, but that would be a strong call this early in the game.
Yes. Zach Ostapchuk comes up with a face-off against Helenius, whose dad, Sammy, played 7 years in the NHL and played in the '93 World Junior Championship in Sweden. Fired back in, that's almost deflected by Helenius as Lucas Cormier goes back, and the Finns once again intercept the Canadian clearing attempt, and again. And finally knocked out by Cormier. Finns have the only shot so far as Topi Niemela goes back. The Toronto third-round pick, who was the top defenseman in the World Junior Championship in 2021. Cormier for Del Mastro. Ethan Del Mastro from Freelton, Ontario, brings it back out. Snaps that pass, that is broken up at center ice by Pudio. But Cormier intercepts. He's taken out at center ice by the captain, Roni Hirvonen. Hirvonen swings that back, and it's picked up by Ruben Rafkin. Rafkin plays it out for Ratu. And after Ratu was straightened up at center ice, right Canada's Ridley Gregg. So once again, there's the matchup. Zellweger and Sabrango on defense with the Gregg line up front against this top line for Finland. And Zellweger brings it in. Oleg Zellweger shoots, that's blocked. Bouncy puck goes back in front, picked up by Sabrango.
Question, Canada hasn't had to worry about matching lines at any point in this tournament. You don't want to throw your bench off or impart a passive mindset because you're worried about Rats. You want to respect them, but you want to make them play defense as well.
In Roy and Dufour, Canada's checking line has 250 goal scorers on it.
It's a credit to them that they are good enough defensively to be trusted with this role.
Yarvanti tries to slide that back in, pick back out. Hemosalmi back at the point, shoots, it got through traffic, deflected, and Garand knocked that away. Sabrango off the boards, once again kicked in by the Finns. Yarvanti took down Sabrango, puck comes loose, Yarvanti in, shoots, Garand save, rebound, fired wide. From the point by Inoviro. Good pressure nearly going by Finland. Hemosalmi works in. Hemosalmi walks the line, plays it back across, centering pass, and that just missed. Looking for Joel Mata. Finns maintain possession again. Vera winds and shoots, and Garand sweeps that away. Canada hemmed in here as Dufour picks it up and finally throws the puck to center ice. Over the head of Mason McTavish, icing waved off as McTavish got there first. Hemosalmi fires that down to the Canadian zone, and this will be icing against the Finns, who have the first 3 shots of the first period.
Canada gets caught tired, running around a little bit in their own end, forcing Garand to make some pretty good saves, and only head up, and that one tipped on the way in. Garand tracks it, but this one a little bit more dangerous as it's going above the blocker and just gets the blocker down to take it away from Viro. And Garand solid early. They did a better job moving the puck up the ice.
Johnson winds in. Ken Johnson, rink-wide pass, bounced away from Ronan Seelig.
Handle that, firm bottom hand. Excellent pass, missed opportunity.
Johnson again. Holds, walks in, crisscrossing there and drops it back. Dropped back by Thompson. Here's Stankoven in the corner. Logan Stankoven peels back a couple of times. Stankoven, the reigning Canadian Hockey League Player of the Year, plays it back across. And now moved out by Oliver Kapanen. Kapanen's a Montreal second-round pick in 2021. Finnish league this year, also their second leg as the Finns come busting in again. Drop pass for Brad Lambert with a shot. That's blocked by Seelig. Now back at the point, here's Punio. Winds and shoots. And the save made by Garand as he walked around the block of Stankoven and got a shot away.
Garand's rock solid as Canada has been running around in their own end. Trying to do a little bit too much, maybe caught out of position. Stankoven, big slide out of the way and good patience by Punio. You see Garand working. That's an excellent save because he's looking left and the puck goes right. That's a difficult save when you get down, lose sight of it, and then have to find it on the other side of the pile. Garand has been sharp to start this game.
14:48 to go here in the first period. Canada still looking for its first shot. Sabrango up ahead for Waugh. Punio. We've not seen a lot of the McTavish line so far.
When we start talking about the passive mindset, Ratu comes out, you're matching up against him. Your best players aren't getting their usual rotation.
Punio lays it back down to the Canadian zone. Cormier swings it back across to Dufour. Rink-wide pass for Waugh is picked off and brought in by Rafkin. The only undrafted defenseman on this Finnish roster. Spent a year with Windsor of the Ontario League a couple of years ago. Niemela back across for Rafkin to Niemela. Bounces back to Sabrango. And across it goes to Zellweger. Up for Bedard. That bounces into the Finnish bench. 13:57 to go in the opening period. No score between Canada and Finland on this Monday afternoon in Edmonton.
USA Hockey is teaching more than just a game. We're teaching kids about
teamwork, confidence, fitness, fun.
Because every kid deserves a chance to play, love, and excel. Visit usahockey.com to learn more about the great youth hockey opportunities available for your child. Because dreaming big is one thing, getting the right start is everything.
Having a real hard time moving the puck up the ice and watching coaching staff try to diagram some ideas in the neutral zone. And what they were saying is that the two defensemen have been in line with each other. They need a greater hinge so that the second defenseman has the puck and can skate up through the middle of the ice instead of being forced to the boards where they don't have any options. So we'll see if they can make that adjustment. Have the defenseman in the middle of the ice, attack the middle, and then be able to distribute to the wings.
The McTavish line stays out. After the TV timeout, McTavish, Othman, and Bedard. Mason McTavish leads the tournament with 6 goals in 3 games. Wins that face-off back to Del Mastro. It was a late addition to the Canadian roster when Damon Hunt was injured the day before the tournament began in practice. Hoffman kicks at it. Here's Bedard. Slides that back to Zellweger. Olin Zellweger along. Wrist shot score! Tipped in front by Hoffman. And Canada's got a 1-0 lead. Brendan Hoffman strikes again.
That was close to the crossbar. We will take a look, but I think it's going to be just below as Hoffman on Canada's first shot on net. Tips it home. Good job by Hoffman on the forecheck. Turns it over, and then Zellweger so good at walking the line. Drift one in, and Hoffman able to tap it down and through Merlainen. Now that one's going to be good, but it's going to be tight.
The officials are huddling.
And huddling is the right word there in a tight huddle.
Hoffman scored against Slovakia. His dad, Gary, look at that.
I know you don't want anyone to eavesdrop, but that's a little much. But it was Hoffman on the forecheck who turned it over. It's the first time Canada's gotten the offensive zone and hit someone and turned the puck over. And Robert Hennessy going over the Canadian bench.
Just go. You're going to tell me. Okay, just go. It's a good goal. Check it.
Now, Christopher Holm just said ruling on the ice was good goal.
So they're taking a look at it.
It was close. No, it's good. It's good. Won't take any long. It was close. It's within 4 inches.
Right.
But I think it's pretty clearly 4 inches below the bar. Great shot by Zellweger. On his back foot, under duress, gets enough velocity. We've talked about that shot. Center net, mid-chest. Because when you tip it down, the goaltenders focus on the puck coming up and has a chance to find a hole. So, excellent hands by Hoffman, who's had quite a little journey in this tournament.
Yeah.
You think about in the pre-tournament game
against Sweden,
he took a couple penalties.
Yeah.
Was scratched the first game of the tournament, then came in the second game, played well, got a bit of a promotion late in that game to the first line, McTavish and Bedard, and somebody was Joshua Waugh. Now it's Othman, and he's making him look good.
He knows
that
what
decision.
He knows where the net is. He scored 50 goals this year for Flint in the OHL. His dad, as we mentioned, Gary, spent 11 years playing in Switzerland. Othman was a Ranger first-round pick in 2021, 16th overall.
Now, is he watching his goal, or is he watching some other play?
I think it's good. He's watching the goal.
I think it's good. There it is. Yes,
He's
I
watching
think
the goal.
so as well. That would be too disciplined. Yeah, no, it's good. It's almost on the elbow of Merlainen, and I understand taking a good long look, but it should not take much longer than this. Canada able to make good on their first foray in the offensive zone, really 6 minutes into the game.
Robert Hennessy and Christopher Holm are the referees who took a look at it in the penalty box. And here comes the call from Hennessy.
After further review, the call of the ice stands. We have a good goal.
Did he just go to the school of West McCauley?
A little bit. With I think a little mustard on that.
A little flare? Okay. Brendan Hoffman, well done. Get to the front of the net. After starting the whole play with his forecheck. And maybe this could free Canada up to start skating and playing because they've been on their back foot to start the game.
We had a chance to meet him and his dad the other day. And,
Yeah.
you know, he talked about maybe the physical side of his game being underrated. He likes to bring that element to it, maybe keep the flies off Bedard a little bit.
I don't know if he'll keep the flies off, but he can certainly be a fly swatter because he can run around and hit and get involved and finish.
Native of Pickering, Ontario, just east of Toronto. Putio bangs it high off the glass. Knocked down again by Thompson, kept alive by Johnson. Kent Johnson, back for Jack Thompson, across to Seeley, shoots, they got down to Merrill. Now a quick chance for Stanko, but he put that wide. Johnson back on it. Johnson winds across the top, drops it off to Seeley. In comes Seeley, his rink-wide pass is ticked away and moved up by Väisänen. Kalle Väisänen, another Ranger pick, shoots that in, knocked down by Garand. A couple of guys who will see each other at Ranger rookie camp in the not-too-distant future.
See how friendly that interaction might be, or not.
Rink-wide pass for Seeley. And now Zach Ostapchuk chops it in. Chance there for Gaucher, and it's turned away by Merrill.
That's better in the neutral zone.
Out at center ice, knocked down by Cormier, and Lucas Cormier slides that back to Ryan O'Rourke. Cormier to O'Rourke. Up ahead for Gaucher, who chips it down. Merrill plays it up ahead. Bouncing puck. Picked up now by Dufour, buying some time. Rink wide, he goes for Cormier, walking in. Cormier in, shoots, and Merrill makes the save. Here's Niemela with it. Up the center ice, Finns had a wide edge in play the first 6 minutes of this game. Canada scored its first shot, the deflection by Hoffman. Emil Viro goes back to Detroit, third-round pick. Feels like there's a couple of Red Wings picks in every game here as Greg moves in. 5 of them in the Sweden-America game last night. Ostapchuk centers it. That missed raw chance for Zellweger. That's blocked. Brought back out by Gregg. Ridley Gregg steps around Kemmel and centers the wall with a shot. Carolina the save. And Ratu brings it back out and finds Hirvonen. That shift came against Finland's top line. As Dufour battles for it, the puck called offside at the Canadian line.
The best defense, good offense. And so really Gregg's team line's responsibility, creating some offense, make them play, and that is a really good look from Gregg out to Roy. Gets a lot on it, just clips the shoulder of Merrill. Joshua Roy's had a quietly productive tournament.
Yeah.
He's started the first line, but he's been moved off of that, but has managed to pick up 5 points in 3 games. He's doing something right.
With 51 goals in the Quebec League this year, 119 points.
And you would have thought that he would be on a checking line against Finland to close out the round robin. It's amazing how the team evolves over the course of just 1 week.
There aren't many unproductive forwards on this Canadian roster. Picked out by Mata. Plays it back at the point. Viro for Mata, shoots. That's blocked by Thompson. Jack Thompson's away with Bedard, and Hoffman jumping in. Thompson works in, fires and put that wide. He had Bedard with him.
Well, you could tell the second he blocked the shot, he thought my foot hurts, and then I'm going to go with it, but I want to get it to Bedard. The entire time down the ice, he's thinking, when should I pass it to Bedard? Eventually, he had to take the shot as he got into a good scoring spot.
Hoffman chips that down.
Not sure I want it, but I got to take it, I guess.
Thompson did have 21 goals this year as a defenseman for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds.
Yeah, a strong game the other night.
Yeah, blocked a bunch of shots. Was Canada's player of the game against Czechia. Here's Cormier back on it. Now Johnson trying to dig that free. Here's Putio. Plays that back across. And that shot blocked on the way in by Tyson Forster. Brendan Offland's second goal in this World Junior Championship has Canada up 1-0 on Finland here in the first period. The final day of the opening round.
Now you can get your favorite jersey faster than ever at Fanatics.com. Introducing Fanatics MVP with next business day shipping. Official jerseys from all the leagues and teams you love. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
I don't like to spend a ton of time shopping, but I like to look good. For me, Poshmark makes that so easy. And whenever I get tired of something, I just relist it back on Poshmark. It's honestly a little addicting, making some money I can spend, keep my wardrobe fresh.
Good to see Jack Thompson back on the ice after blocking a shot and creating a chance. Whatever is going on in bumps and bruises, he'll be just fine with. And you see him step out. It's a good block right there. And now he's off the race. A bit of a tight 3-on-2. And Finland keeps deferring, and Viro lets him get all the way in there. But eventually takes the wrister and goes wide. But with 20 goals, can score from this spot. Oh, Marilainen got a piece of that actually. Just glanced off his blocker. That's a tidy shot for anybody. Got to pick it inside the post. Marilainen, pretty good save.
Face off in the Canadian zone. Zach Ostapchuk will take it against Hellenius, who's one of the top face-off men in the tournament.
Well, Ostapchuk hasn't played center all this tournament, so he fares in the face-off circle.
Scramble draw pulled out by Del Mastro. A rink-wide pass for Ostapchuk. Zach Ostapchuk, Ottawa second-round pick in 21. Broken stick for him. Quickly grabs another and rejoins the play. Brad Lambert snaps out ahead. And that pass finds the stick of Juuso Mäenpää. Hellenius comes in on Ostapchuk. And Cormier goes ahead for Cooley. Back for Del Mastro.
There it is.
To Cooley. Cooley shoots. That's blocked. Bouncing puck in front. Denoy had his stick knocked out of his hands. That's going to be a slashing call against the Finns. And the first power play of the game will go to Canada as Hellenius goes off.
Team Finland, number 20, minor penalty, slashing.
Finland does retreat in a passive nature once you get the puck moving up the ice, and they close in on Denoy, and it's both Lambert and Hellenius chopping down as Denoy is going to look for the puck. It breaks the stick almost in half there. Easy call to make. Canada's got a pretty good power play of their own, kicking along at 50%.
4 for 8, 4 different power play goal scorers for them. McTavish, along with Bedard, Stankoven, and Johnson the forward. Zellweger the defenseman.
Another different look with Bedard in the bumper spot.
Now Johnson shoots, and a pad save made by Marilainen, and it's sent back out. There's Bedard with it. Connor Bedard. Up ahead for McTavish. And Mason McTavish winds in. Got to feed that back across, and the line is held. Great play by Zellweger. And a drop pass from Johnson. Zellweger to Stankoven. Zellweger back for Stankoven. Logan Stankoven. McTavish parked in front. Zellweger works it across. Johnson found that shot. Cued it back in the corner. Now Johnson knocks it down. McTavish feeds it back to Zellweger. 2 clearing attempts foiled by the Canadians. Johnson walks it and fires it. Carolina makes the stop. Johnson pokes it free back in front, and the Niemela finally feeds it out for Finland. Garand quick up for Bedard. That missed. Went right down on goal. It's no icing on the play.
Shot on goal though. So Garand hurting his shooting percentage.
And here's Garand back with it.
So Finland basically said, we're going to let Kent Johnson shoot and not Connor Bedard. We'll take our chances. That's the first adjustment they made. Canada's got to make the adjustment from that.
In comes Ridley Gregg now jumping in, splits the D, with a shot away. Maryland save, rebound, score! Tyson Forster on the follow. And Canada's got a 2-0 lead on a power play goal.
Plays made on the rush by Ridley Gregg. We see this a couple times where Gregg doesn't necessarily look to set up. He wants to try to challenge off the rush and splits the D, creates some confusion, and then that's paying the price by Forster to get in there. Gregg challenges Marilainen and actually pokes it back. Does Gregg actually touch that back? Almost tapping it to Forster, who finishes strong on your stick, and when you're finishing, all you care about. And now, first of all, he's going to, the whiplash on that left knee will be a little interesting, as well as he's going to need a new skate blade in his left skate because his skate blade caught a lot of the post. But he looks like he's fine, no worse for wear. And
Forster from Alliston, Ontario, a Philadelphia first-round pick who played last year for Barrie. An injury-ravaged season for him. He only played 13 games.
Score a goal always feels better, though.
Yeah, he's got goals now in back-to-back games.
He was excellent as well last game. His best game of the tournament. Continue to build on that. Canada up 2.
And 5 different power play goal scorers for Canada now. Of their 5 power play goals. Loose puck goes to Waugh. That bounced away to Kemmel. And Kemmel plays it back to center ice to Ratu. Out to Ratu. After Hirvonen, that's steered away by Garand. Picked out now. And brought back by Kemmel. Long shot goes wide off the end boards. It goes. Garand trying to find it. The puck was stuck on the back of the net. They finally chop it off. Thompson gets it free. And Waugh back on it. Picked out now by Ratu. Ratu. Back for Hemesalmi. Hemesalmi bobbled the puck. Ratu's got it. Shoots. Deflected puck goes wide. Ratu, the second-round pick of the Islanders in 2021. Kemmel works that free. Kemmel spins and shoots. He fired that wide. Here's Dufour back on it. Knocked away from him. Hirvonen centers it for Ratu. Back to Hirvonen. At the point is Hemesalmi. Hemesalmi had that pass broken up by Waugh. And Waugh head for Dufour. That was a clever play by Waugh. His stick was broken after he blocked that shot, so he played it gingerly. And then we'll grab a new one on the bench. Hemesalmi, the top defenseman of the under-18s earlier this year. As Hoffman brings it out. Chris pass ahead for Bedard. Bouncing puck in the offensive zone. Got away from Bedard, but it's held by Cormier. Cormier. Hoffman centers it. Bounces backwards. Heavy shot. Pinballs around in front. Bedard tipped it wide. That centering pass knocked down. Then brought out by Mata. Joel Mata works it in, but the play's offside at the Canadian line. Tyson Forster, the 20-year-old from Elliston, Ontario, has the power play goal, and Canada's got a 2-0 lead here in the first period on the final day of the preliminary round of the World Junior Hockey Championship.
Come on! You know the answer. You studied for this. Come on. Timmy! Come on, Timmy. You got this, son. Pencil to paper. Focus. Come on, Timmy. Focus. Focus. Take the puck. There you go. Skate. Skate. Pass it. You call that a pass? What are you doing? You missed the puck. Come on.
The Women's World Championship begins on August 25th. Canada will take on Finland. Coverage continues through September the 4th. And the Canadian team announced today. And Gina Kingsbury, the GM of the Canadian Women's National Team, will join James Duffy and the crew on set today. A 5-time gold medalist. He's a terrific player.
That'll be great to watch as well as our August of hockey continues on TSN. One more look at this goal. And you see the 2 defensemen for Finland get caught standing still at the blue line. Generally, guys will take it wide and set up, but Ridley Gregg said, you know what, I'll take my chances attacking. And does a nice job creating some chaos that Forster cashes in from.
That pass knocked down by Johnson. Played back by Weissman. Now Kent Johnson back on the forecheck, wins that puck. Brings it back around. Zellweger jumps up, hacked away from him by Etuliukas. Stankoven plays it back around for Seeley, and Seeley spins away neatly from Liukas. Back down to the finish zone, played across to Kasper Puutio. They scored in all 3 games for the Finns. Johnson banks it high off the boards. The pass bounces down to Stankoven. Moves it to Forster. And Stankoven chops that back down to the finish zone, heads off on a change. Johnson knocks it down again, but it's squirted away. Brad Lambert comes through. He got wiped out there on the way through by Sabrango. In comes Ostapchuk. Shoots. Maryland looks back, but he's got it. And he's able to hang on.
A big collision. Oof. In the neutral zone. Zabrango skating into it. Lambert skating into it. And the puck's there, and you got to get the puck. Or you got to get the body. You cannot go over if you're Zabrango, and he certainly gets plenty of Brad Lambert. You got to keep that elbow tucked in. Can't have any sort of chicken wing flying out. No, that's okay. Just spun him around as he had to.
That's it. Emasami's a second-round pick of Carolina. Pops it back. Kebble. Ferratu shoots at the flex back in front. Emasami will be nice and comfortable with all those Finns in Carolina, won't he?
Helsinki South.
Jordan Stahl better start learning his finish.
So all good players, too. Important players.
Sebastian Aho, chief among them.
Let's look at Carolina. He's an excellent player.
He is, too, yeah. Aho, remember that 2016 gold medal team for the Finns that won in spectacular fashion. The golden goal in Helsinki scored by Kasperi Kapanen. They also won the golden goal in 2014 in Malmo. That was Rasmus Ristolainen. And back in '98, they won the golden goal.
Get it to overtime. Yeah. Chances.
Look at that shot. Deflects right down to Garand. Makes a good stop there. That was Nicholas Hagman scored back in '98. In 2019, they didn't need overtime to win the gold medal in Vancouver. They won it with about 20 seconds to go in regulation against the United States in the gold medal game.
All intents and purposes, a golden goal.
Liukas plays it off the side of the goal. Racing back is Bedard. He collides there with Väisänen. Walking across the top is Jurmio. In shoots. That's knocked away by Garand. Kapanen back across to Puutio. Puutio works in and holds. Gets a screen there from Liukas. And played back at the point for Jurmo. Joni Jurmo back to Puutio. Works it and shoots. It got through Garand. Save. Rebound loose in front. That skipped away from Kapanen. Kick free for the moment by Hoffman. Move back in front. Now gathered up by Cormier. Cormier off the glass, but it's gloved down by Puutio. Again, the Finns hold possession in the offensive zone. Both teams changing. Cormier gets to it. End of a long shift for him. Flips it ahead to McTavish. Busting out with Bedard. McTavish goes rink wide and finds Bedard. Bedard in, shoots, goal! A lightning strike from Connor Bedard. And it's 3-0. What a shot!
Wow. Connor Bedard late in the shift. You think get it over the red line and dump it in. Bedard tops those circles and he absolutely wires this. Not a great angle. He's got himself getting closed off quickly by Jurmo, but he gets it away so fast. Carolina's there, but the shooter's better than the goaltender. That is world class. That is 90 seconds into a shift. When you're tired, you can't do anything, including shoot. The fact that he has the energy, the gas left in the tank to go on that rush and to make that shot, incredible stuff by Connor Bedard.
51 goals in 62 games for Regina this year. Just the third 16-year-old ever to score 50 goals in the Western League.
That's just a shot that, you know, very few hockey players in the world can make at any age.
Before with that shot, that really is jaw-dropping. I mean, there are fans in the building still shaking their head about it.
Maybe one of them. It's just, for a smaller guy, he just gets it away so fast, accurate, and hard. It's offside.
Joe Sakic had the best wrist shot I saw. I think Joe had, but this is...
So, it's 85 seconds into the shift. And he's got to take it wide. He's getting closed off. And again, look at the effort. Look at everything in him he's putting into that shot. And the fall through we talked about, he really does emphasize pointing that toe of his stick at the target. And look at Del Mastro. Can you believe that? We watch it every day in practice. Yes, we can. Unreal. You know what? Maybe I just wasn't trying hard enough when I shot it. Because he is putting everything he has, and it looks like it, with great success.
This is Bedard's 17th game playing for Team Canada, his 20th goal.
He's draft eligible. He's just 17.
Just turned. Like last couple weeks. Ben Johnson in, shoots. That's off the stick of Niemela. up and out of play, and a 3-0 lead for Canada.
And you see the tape job. He releases the puck from the toe of his stick. Quick little drag into his feet, create a flex, and that's almost an abbreviated fall through as he's being chopped down on by Urmo, but man, it just, the replay almost doesn't do it justice how quickly that got on Marilainen. The shot, the endurance a minute and a half into the shift, and the finish, just beautiful by Connor Bedard.
He's from North Vancouver, Sakic's from Burnaby.
I don't know, something going on out the West Coast. Talked about his stick, 70 flex, very whippy, quite long relative to his height, so you have a little more chance to use the shaft to flex and release.
So wouldn't you say two things that make it hard to handle a puck, the length of the stick and the flex?
Yeah, both make it more difficult. You're kind of trading off, you know, my shot versus my control, but he's obviously got it dialed in every aspect.
In comes Cooley with it, shoots, it's off the stick of Puccio. Up and out of play, 1:19 to go here in the period, and some pushing and shoving after the whistle.
And if you're Finland, you're thinking, how are we down 3 in this period?
You know, the way they started, the first 5 minutes.
First 5-6 minutes.
Canada have a shot.
Canada couldn't get to their own end. And then one play down, Othman on a tip. And all of a sudden, Canada's on the board and feeling a little bit more comfortable in the game. The power play goal pivotal to take advantage of that for Canada. Yeah. And then, you know, a play that defended well, but sometimes great players make great plays, and that was just that for Connor Bedard. I was wondering if Antti Pennanen might be thinking, do we go to a different goaltender at this point?
They talked about it in the Czechia game. They got down 2-0 early against Czechia, and they talked about it on the bench, he said afterwards, but they decided to stay with Leevi Marilainen. We ended up getting the win in the shootout. He's great, by the way, at shootouts and penalty shots.
Don't want to let it get to that if Marilainen's in the net.
Ottawa got a 3rd-round pick from Winnipeg for Dylan DeMello, and used that pick to take Leevi Marilainen. Melania is trying to work that free. Irvin centers it, picked up by Helenius, scores! Samuel Helenius with 56 seconds to go in the period, and the Finns are on the board.
Huge goal for Helenius and Finland as it was soft, broken coverage. Sealy in front of the net, Cooley's there as well. One of them has to recognize where the danger area is. Helenius is sliding right there, and neither one gets out there in time, and the shot actually clips off a Canadian defender and deflects up and past Garand, but there's nobody in front of the net, and it's off Sealy's stick, I think, when it's all said and done. But if you're Cooley, you're the weak side forward, you drop down and take that guy. And if they pass it behind the defenseman, then you let them go. Or if you're Sealy, you got to get out and engage and trust the guy in front of the net. That's a little bit too wide open, right in the slot, and that is huge. If Canada goes to the break 3-0, they feel great. Now 3-1, Finland right back in the game.
Lenny's been a project for LA, a 2nd-round pick. Had just 3 goals this year in 48 games with JYP Pascalon in the Finnish league.
A few kind of half coverages by just about everybody in the defensive zone there behind the net. Tavish, Thompson, Sealy, everyone not quite on top of their man.
Sabrango finds Greg, and racing back to knock that away was Rafkin. Zellweger bowled over his man, Järventie. And now Lambert plays it back in. Will be Järventie. And that knocked away. Helenius knocked down Sabrango. Donovan Sabrango tries to slide that back, and again, the Finns maintain possession in the offensive zone. Knocked down by Niemela. Rolling puck for Topi Niemela. Bounced off his stick. Feeds it back down. Lambert a backhand shot. Garand makes the stop.
Finland will keep on pushing. The belief on the bench will be all the way back after scoring that goal, knowing that they've been in this period. Shots are 10-10. It's been quite even. And we'll just find a way to chip away. Keep playing the offensive zone. Canada's having trouble with Finnish cycle plays and defensive attacks, or attacks from the defenseman in the offensive zone.
Here's Del Mastro with it. Up ahead for Johnson. Johnson, rink wide for McTavish, jumping in with Forster. McTavish works it in, rolling puck knocked down by Pudio. And the play called.
Ken Johnson ran in the net, knocked it off.
That's off. So
face-off would go outside if it's with
0.3 seconds left in the period.
Won't really matter. Ken Johnson drive the far post. Didn't do a great job of trying to stop. Just sort of skated into it. So that face-off should, now they're going to be, if they put more time back on the clock, this face-off should actually be outside the blue line. 0.3 is not enough time to make it happen, I don't think.
Scramble drop, and so Canada, on the strength of goals by Othman, Forster, and Bedard, we're going to dressing with a 3-1 lead. Honea strikes for the Finns. You're watching the final day of the preliminary round of the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship Summer Edition. Our first intermission coming up with James Duffy, Bob McKenzie, Cheryl Pounder, and Jeff O'Neill. That's all ahead from Edmonton.
And that open up the game. Othman second, Forster second, and Connor Bedard his third. And remember, if you're just joining us for the first time this tournament, Bedard had that 4-goal game back in December. Those stats count for that game. So we now have 7 World Junior goals. Gord Miller, Mike Johnson, and the second.
James, we mentioned the fact that Connor Bedard was the third 16-year-old to score 50 goals in the Western Hockey League. Dan Lucas and Glenn Goodall were the others. They had both turned 17 that year when they scored their 50th. Bedard's the only player in the history of that league to score 50 at the age of 16.
So he's special is what you're trying to say.
Yes.
And he shows that. And this was not a great first period for Canada. In their own end, they made some mistakes. They played a little bit too much defense. But sometimes, no matter how good of a system you play against someone, great players can make great plays. And for Finland, who did a lot of things right, it was a great individual left by Ridley Gregg on a power play, breaking down the defense. And Tyson Forster able to cash it in. Not much you can do about that. And then this one, Finland actually had the puck in the offensive zone for over a minute, but sometimes players just make great individual plays, and that shot is still has the crowd buzzing. Something uniquely special about the way Connor Bedard could shoot the puck. And if you're Canada, you're loving 3-1, but you know you need to play a little bit better because that wasn't a perfect period by any stretch. It was really quite even. In fact, 5-on-5, it probably favored Finland.
Do you think the Bedards have like a dented dryer or garage door or something?
Although with the accuracy, I'm sure he could just put like a little piece of plexiglass out there and hit it anytime he wanted to. But hearing Connor talk to Tessa in the intermission, he said it. I'm trying to shoot the puck as hard as he can. And I think like, it seems obvious. But it's not.
When you saw the replay, the slow-mo of him flexing that stick, I mean, it's astonishing.
But having played in the NHL, like you're always trying to shoot it hard, but you're not really shooting it as hard as you physically can because there's other stuff going on. Trying to get it off, trying to find the location, worrying about what's happening around you. But it seems as though he really does throw everything he possibly can into his shot.
Zellweger tees it up and shoots. Good stuff on Maryland. Rebound score! Busting in is Ridley Gregg. And it's 4-1.
I think Ridley Gregg likes this kind of game. Give me a matchup, let me sink my teeth into it, and be effective. So he's out there again, Ratu again, and watch him spin off. Ratu gets caught staring at the puck, and Ridley Gregg's able to beat him to the front of the net. Really good one-timer by Zellweger. So that puck's way in front of him. Not an easy shot to make. Good tip by Roy, who will pick up another point, as all he does is get points. And Ridley Gregg, that you make good players defend. Ratu doesn't want to play in his own end, and Gregg takes advantage, moving his feet, staying loose, and jumping on the rebound of what was a really good first save by Marylainen.
Now the puck picked up below the goal line by Johnson. So Ridley Gregg's got his third of the tournament. Scored 26 goals in 39 games this year for Brandon in the Western League.
Ottawa, good things are happening in Ottawa right now.
Greg was a first-round pick. The pick they got for Jean-Gabriel Pageau, one of the picks they got from the Islanders for Jean-Gabriel Pageau.
He might be a very Pageau-like player.
Johnson from a sharp angle, stop made by Merolainen.
Play kind of down the lineup a little bit, but still produce offense.
And if you've been watching Team USA's games in the tournament, Tyler Clevin, the defenseman for Team USA, has been rattling the glass and boards every game with thundering hits. Facing back is Cormier, and icing called against the Finns.
And so Ridley Gregg starts the play for the goal on the faceoff. So he's got to dig in, scramble this drop. Doesn't really win it, but kind of controls it with the skate by stepping on it. Eventually gets support from Dufour. And then watch Ratu and Gregg to the top of your screen. Ratu thinks he's going to seal off Gregg's stick with kind of trying to pin it under his body. And Gregg's not allowed to let that happen. And pounces on the loose puck. Nose for the net.
Yeah. Native of Lethbridge, Alberta. Stats mentioned scouting for Philadelphia. Played for 4 teams in the NHL. Flyer GM Chuck Fletcher jokes that they do take the Mark Gregg scouting reports of the Canada games with a grain of salt. They seem tilted in one particular direction.
A lot of mentions of this 17 for Canada.
Well, Hellenius, a backhand shot that was blocked by Sabrango, and Bedard plays it back out. Between periods, pro scouts that are here, NHL scouts, just astonished by the Bedard goal.
As they should be. It was something special.
Icing waved off as Sabrango goes back. He gets crunched into the inboards by Hellenius. Wide around, here's Niemela with it. Topi Niemela shoots with that high and wide. Hellenius back on it. Into the corner for Lambert. Plays that back and was kept alive by Rafkin. Now picked off and moved up by Othman, who opened the scoring for Canada. Chris pass ahead for Bedard. Bumps there with Rafkin. And at the line, kept alive by Thompson. Down to Bedard. Bedard fights off Rafkin, stays on it. Bedard still with it. Bedard throws that back in the corner for Waugh. Joshua Waugh with a shot. And Merolainen makes the stop with Gregg parked right at the side of the finished goal. And Ridley Gregg with Brandon. We mentioned the 28th overall pick by the Ottawa Senators in the 2020 draft, and that pipeline of prospects that is flowing in Ottawa right now.
Still a year or two away maybe before he arrives, but it won't be long.
Jake Sanderson should be there promptly. Walking in now, Dufour with a shot. And Merolainen, the save, puck's loose.
Behind him.
Puck's in his pads. They dig away at it, and finally he freezes it. You can hear the players yelling, it's loose.
Nobody from Finland knew it was behind Merolainen, and he's thinking there, he's waiting for a whistle, he's got it covered. Or the referee not blowing it down. Another play off a face-off. Dufour walks around and kind of dribbles between his feet. Oh, it's right there. And Joshua Waugh would have dug in and maybe looked for it. He thought it was going to be a whistle, or Gregg as well, and then finally they go hacking after it, after it had been covered. It's rare. Goaltenders have such a great feel. They almost always know where that puck is in their gear. Even though so much gear, I don't know how they feel it.
The puck weighs 6 ounces.
And all that pad, but they always seem to know when it's dribbling through. Seems like Gregg's having a good time on the faceoffs, creating offense.
Vero for Järventie. Bangs that back down. Järventie, another Ottawa prospect.
This is Merolainen in net for Finland.
Yeah. Had an up and down year for Kingston in the Ontario League, did Merolainen. Shane Wright's teammate with the Frontenacs. Gaucher trying to knock that down, but it's brought up by Madden. A stop check came back on him. O'Rourke back around to Cormier, lifts it ahead for Gaucher, and it was knocked down by Vero. That was a breakaway for Canada's Nathan Gaucher. Now the lead pass for Hirvonen. Johnny Hirvonen tried to flip that back ahead. Took to Kelly Väisänen. Väisänen got spun around. And Will Cooley up ahead for a stop shot. He's taken down. And the puck rolls down to Merolainen. Yermo. Up for Liukas. That was stolen by Johnson. And Gaucher couldn't reach it. Here's Zellweger. Up to Gaucher, who chips it back down to the finish zone as Canada starts to change, but the puck was played with a high stick and play is called.
And the early goal by Canada undoes all the positivity that Finland would have felt by their late goal. And the idea that they're closing the gap and getting back into a game, and now it's stretched out to 3 once again. So they'll have to try to keep pushing and creating the offense as Canada's gotten off to the better start in period 2.
That long shot by Sabrango goes wide. When you talk about a player being 16 when he scores 50, it's obviously in your 16-year-old year. This is still Connor Bedard's 16-year-old year at the World Junior, even though he turned 17 a couple weeks ago.
It's all a little skewed with the 8 months later, but yes.
Stankoven for Zellweger, back for Sabrango, a shot. Carolina the stop there, and the rebound tipped away. That was deflected in front. Now Zellweger back with it. Knocked away from Forster. And lead pass by Niemela. Finds Lambert. Lambert throws that Rick wide for Niemela. Stankoven, a crisp pass there for Forster. And he finds Johnson moving in, shoots, and Carolina makes a point-blank save on Kent Johnson. Now the pass misfires for Lambert. Back goes Thompson. An icing called against the Finns, who were almost burned there.
More chances. Kent Johnson, late in the shift, knows he's going to get caught. You're wondering why is he shooting from so far away? Because he knows a couple more strides, and he's very likely to be tracked down by Puccio. So he steps on it quickly, trying to get under the pads man line, and makes a nice save. But Zellweger and Sabrango again have had a really good game. Jumping down, turns it over, wins it back. He's got a couple assists on the night already, does Zellweger. He has been really good for Canada in this tournament.
Now Greg centers it. Before reaching for it, the puck loose in the pads again of Carolina, but this time he grabs it. Waugh was in there digging. Puccio gets in his face.
Waugh, Dufour, joking that Ridley Gregg's gonna have to polish up on some of his French, because as the sentiment between two primarily French-speaking wingers, take advantage of their natural tongue. And I think Waugh's been very comfortable since he's been paired with Dufour.
Yeah, he started the tournament on the line with Bedard and McTavish. Moves ahead. In comes Hirvonen. Hirvonen drops it off to Ratu. Winds in. Ratu plays that back. And Masamia's shot through the traffic. Duran makes the stop. Picked up by Dufour. In comes Gregg with it. And Hirvonen chips it back down to the Canadian line. Del Mastro swings back. Oh, turnover. Ratu chipped that wide. Now settled down by Waugh.
I don't think Del Mastro anticipated Ratu jumping down on him.
4-1 Canada leads. You're watching the final day of the opening round of the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship and the high-level bridge in Edmonton.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. Attention! From 1953 to 1987, veterans and civilians were potentially exposed to toxic chemicals in the drinking water at Camp Lejeune. Exposure to these chemicals increases the risk for cancer and other health problems. If you or a loved one were diagnosed with a serious illness after being exposed to contaminated water at Camp Lejeune, you may be entitled to compensation.
Call Sokolov Law now at 1-800-835-6402. That's 1-800-835-6402.
Oh, do we have a day for you on Wednesday? It starts at noon Eastern, 10 o'clock local time. 4 quarterfinals in one day, all in a row in this building.
It's a quick 12-hour set for us, and our crew will be grinding early and often as we get down to the semifinals. Here's Del Mastro. When someone chases you behind, you don't ever expect another forward to jump on you right in front. But Ratu catches Del Mastro by surprise. He's like, well, wait a second. And Duran's got to be aware. And We won't actually know the full quarterfinal matchups until after our final game today.
Sweden plays Germany in the nightcap tonight.
The winner gets second place in that group.
Switzerland, a narrow 3-2 win over Austria in the first game today. It was a 2-2 tie in the third period. Austria rather called for a 5-minute major and game misconduct, the 5th game misconduct we've seen so far in the tournament. And on the ensuing 5-minute power play, the Swiss scored to punch their ticket to the quarters.
Nail biter. Austria thought they'd pull a Latvian like us back into the quarters. So that'll be it for them. Slovakia and Austria will be not advancing.
No relegation in this year's tournament.
Right.
5 years ago, the Finns were in the relegation against Latvia. They came unraveled in the World Junior in Edmonton and Montreal. A year after winning it at home ice. Fired their coach on New Year's Eve. Long shooting, Garand makes the stop. And Bedard gathers it back up. Here comes Connor Bedard again with McTavish and Cooley on the right wing this time. Way back to center ice. And a penalty coming now.
Bedard going to get a hold after all that.
Holding the stick on Bedard.
Dragged it out of Mata's hands.
And so the Finns, with that lethal power play that's 8 for 13 so far, will get the man advantage.
Team Canada, number 16, minor penalty, holding the stick.
Connor Bedard, who has been on the receiving end of a lot of extra attention from all opponents. So he's trying to get the puck up the ice, chips it in deep. Little shove there, no problem with that. Little shove. It's almost hard to see. He wasn't holding the stick very firmly, but he took it right out of his hand, so I guess when you're skating around with his stick in your hand, it's tough to say you didn't grab it.
Mata and Hirvonen lead the way for the Finns with 2 power play goals each. They have 5 against Slovakia.
That's what we talked about. Coming into this game, 62% on the power play for Finland.
And the Canadians right away send it right back down. Canada's allowed 1 power play goal and 8 opposition opportunities so far. Niemela. Tumpy Niemela. Swings that back for Ratu. Up for Hirvonen. Chips that back in. Ronnie Hirvonen. Lays it back in the corner. Gaucher gets to it. Now fed back at the point. Here's Niemela. In. Shoots through traffic and Garand snakes out the left hand and makes the glove save.
Grabbed through traffic. Was able to see it enough to snare it. Garand, not the biggest guy, got to work around his defenders. Oh yeah, he's working around Ridley Gregg and Hirvonen in front as well. Up and down. I mean, you got to work. You got to work to be a goaltender to spot pucks for all of those bodies, your own teams included, as everyone's trying to get in your line of sight.
Face off won by McTavish. Now McTavish trying to dig it free, but it goes back to the point to Niemela. Across to Putio. Putio works that back in the corner. See McTavish trying to get free. And now chop free to chance, short-handed with Dufour. In comes William Dufour, short-handed, stopped by Marilainen. And Dufour was a lethal goal scorer in the Quebec League this year, led that league with 56 goals in 66 games. As Ratu works in. Now the centering pass knocked down by Kemmel. Goes off the end of that discarded stick and out.
Dirty butt end for Finland. Their own team stick in the way.
Joachim Kemmel, 17th overall to Nashville in the 2022 draft.
Well, you are allowed to shoot that out of the way if you want. There you go.
Finally do some cleanup down there. Played back by Järventie. Shoots and the stop. Järventie got it away. The save made by Garand. Here's Järventie again. Looking for a stick in front. Picked up now by Kemmel. Kemmel. And Asami shoots. Garand the save. Seeley gets to the rebound and rings it around and couldn't get it out.
Keep.
Final seconds of the power play now. McTavish knocks it down as Bedard steps back on the ice. Järventie a shot that's blocked. 2 shots for the Finns in that power play. Tired penalty killers on the ice for Canada. Long shot knocked down by Seeley. And Seeley will buy some time. The Finns are making changes. Bedard remains out there along with Cooley. Sealy. Gains center ice and banks out ahead, knocked down by Pudio. Lee Khan's knocked down by Thompson. Away comes Jack Thompson, drops for Bedard, in shoots! And the save made by Carolina. A late bump there by Thompson draws some attention.
Lots going on that finished power play. First off, the stick line, what are the chances? Right off the butt end of the stick for the zone clearance. That's a good one for Canada. Here's why the stick's on the ground. And I wonder if Dufour recognized that Niemela had dropped the stick, because sometimes you think he's chasing you and you have to make a quick move, but he elected to shoot, not quite able to find it. And there's that wrister. That time, Marylainen gets the best of Connor Bedard. It's at that point where anytime he gets a good look, you expect him to almost score.
Forrester tees it up and shoots. And that was blocked by Kapanen. Liukas chops at it, but the pass is knocked down by O'Rourke. Played back in. Stankoven looking for it. And Logan Stankoven gets to it for Canada. Drops it back for Sealy. Sealy keeps it alive, down to Johnson. Johnson works out of the corner. Spins and shoots. That was blocked. Loose puck goes to Forrester. Centers it, Stankoven. Spins it back to Johnson with a shot that's blocked. Rebound, Carolina the save up high. Took that right off the mask. And now Cormier holds the line again. Great job to walk the blue line.
Oh, wow.
Back he goes to Johnson. Kent Johnson. Spins it back for O'Rourke. Down to the goal mouth to Forrester. Chops it back, and once again it's kept alive by Johnson. Kent Johnson holds. Chris crosses O'Rourke, drops it back to Cormier. Back to Johnson, tees it up and shoots, and a pad save by Carolina. These Finns are exhausted now. O'Rourke back to Forrester. Forrester spins that back to O'Rourke. Down to Stankoven, walks in, shoots. Puck trickles down in front, rebound! And Johnson turned away by Carolina. Lots of good chances for Canada. William Dufour killing a penalty, gets a short-handed breakaway. Stopped by Leevi Merilainen. It remains a 4-1 lead for Canada against Finland.
Tonight, the World Juniors are on.
Okay, guys, let's go.
It's the final day of preliminary action at the World Juniors, which will determine final seeding in the quarterfinals. Continues tonight, 6 Eastern on NHL Network.
Show the world what it means to be a fan at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
It's the epic prequel to the groundbreaking Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, an HBO original series, streams Sunday, August 21st, and you can only watch it on Crave.
Canada has really tilted the ice to start the second period. Put an awful lot in the offensive zone, and Kent Johnson had an excellent shift. Probably should have been rewarded with a goal here. Because all the work, he gets Carolina down, he gets the loose puck on his backhand, and he heels it into the pad when he should have just shoveled it upstairs. Chip it upstairs, it's wide open. He just doesn't quite get it after a long sequence in the offensive zone.
Desnoyers out for the face-off. Alex Desnoyers has seen limited ice time here in the game so far. Plays for Halifax in the Quebec Major Junior League. Halifax and Moncton, co-hosts of the upcoming 2023 World Junior Championship.
Samuel Hellenius runs over everybody he bumps into. Must always end up on the ice. He is large.
Amos Salmi for Lambert. Brad Lambert, the Winnipeg Jets' first-round pick. Selected 30th overall in the most recent NHL draft. By Empire reaching for it, taken away by Desnoyers. 8.5 to go here in the second period. Canada a 4-1 lead. Finns got off to a great start in the game. But Canada reeled off 3 straight to grab the advantage. Zellweger shoots. Pad save Carolina. Rebound loose in front. Scooped up by Lambert. And Lambert across to Hellenius. Back for Lambert. Lambert was a highly touted prospect for the draft last year. His stock fell somewhat this year. Didn't have a big productive year in the Finnish league.
He was thought to be a top 10 guy heading into this year.
He was actually moved in mid-season to Pelicans Lahti.
That'd be tough. I mean, you're playing pro hockey, so it can happen, but you're a teenager getting traded and shopped around. And
well, it's your draft year. There's all the pressure that goes with it. Long shot taken by Simon Taivo. Kicked away in a race for it. Now he comes to four again. He gets a step to four. In! Turn away again by Maryland. Another chance. That's hacked wide by Greg. Here's Greg back on it. Back of the line, Sabrango. Crosby goes Seeley with a shot that's kicked out by Maryland. Ridley Gregg back on it. Gregg stays with it, feeds it back in front for Dufour, spins and shoots, that's blocked. It's another drive away, it's tipped wide by Waugh. Gregg with a shot. Carolina's knocked the net off. And play is called here, 6:55 to go in the period.
What a game this line is having. Gregg, Waugh, Dufour just buzzing in the offensive zone. And finally, Maryland banging around, says, you know what? We could use the net coming off, so he gets heavy into that one. And crazy Karam off the boards as Dufour's almost in again. I wonder if Greg was coming in behind him, if he could have maybe slid a drop pass back while drawing in the check. And that's two near breaks for William Dufour.
Shots are 16-4 Canada in the second period.
Canada's been so much better in the second period because they're playing in the offensive zone. Been a bit better on their own end, but they've been way better up the ice.
Thompson plays that to McTavish. Down to Cooley. So this is McTavish, Cooley, and Gaucher the forward line for Canada. Here's Cooley back with it. Will Cooley. Drops that back. Centering pass just missed McTavish. Now Thompson back with it. And for McTavish. And McTavish plays it down to Cooley. Back for Thompson. Shoots. That got knocked away. And Gaucher with a chance. It goes off a stick. Ramps up and out of play.
And if you're wondering what's going on with these strange lines, Greg, who they want to play against Ratu, had just finished a long shift in the offensive zone. We're tired. Out comes Ratu. So they go two wingers from the fourth line, and then Mason McTavish as a responsible center to pair between them. Still up 4-1, but respecting the line matchups and rotations that Dave Cameron has been after all game long, doing his best to take the #1 line of Finland out of the game.
Here's Johnson with it. Back to Zellweger, shoots and ramps off a stick again. Up and out of play with 6:05 to go.
That's almost surprising that Zellweger had a shot block. He is exceptional at walking the line laterally, able to shoot it off his back foot and still get plenty on it. I've been impressed with his game.
Johnson. For O'Rourke, that deflects wide. Zellweger shoots, and that's gloved by Maryland. 5:52 to go here in the second period. It has been the Connor Bedard show for Canada. Night after night, spectacular goals, including another one here today in a 4-1 lead for Canada.
What does the future of strength look like? It's a personal trainer that assesses your strength and adds weight as you progress. It's dynamic weight that adjusts for you in real time for a more efficient workout. Come on! And it's a roster of coaches that motivates you to get stronger, faster. The future is strength you can feel and results you can see. And you can only experience it on Tonal.
So Team Canada looking to run its record of 4-0 in the opening round, secure first place in its group into the quarterfinals on Wednesday. Sweden will play Germany today. The United States has clinched first place in that group after the win over Sweden last night.
So winner of this game gets Switzerland. who came last. Latvia came third, and then Sweden and US first. Is that right?
So I might bang that around a little bit, but
the winner of this game gets Switzerland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chip back down the Canadian zone, and Garan plays it around. Dylan Garan had a great year for Kamloops in the Western League last year. They got to the Western Conference Final before losing to Seattle. Back across his bureau, shoots, pinballs around in front. Picked up by Denoyer. And a lead pass for McTavish. Stopchuk into the lines are all over the place here now. As back goes Cormier for it. He got spun around. O'Rourke got tied up in the corner. As Kapanen stepped into him and then threw down O'Rourke. And the referee says play on. Denoyer moves in. In comes McTavish. Goes behind his back. Loose puck in front. Kicked up by Marilainen. And Zellweger holds the line again. Drops it back, but it's picked off and brought out by Väisänen. Kelly Weiss, another Ranger pick. Got it back around to Stopchuk. Loose in the corner. Zellweger got hit back up. Here's Sabrango. The matchups have kind of gone away here. It began with Zellweger and Sabrango up against the top line for Finland, but with the score now 4-1, it's become less of an issue in terms of matching as Niemela moves around. And a penalty coming. It's going to be interference. That's going to go on Ruben Rafkin. And Canada gets a power play here with 4:27 to go in the second.
Team Finland, number 3, 2-minute minor, interference.
It is interference. What he's upset is that Stankoven, he feels, went down pretty easily on the bump. So there's no reason for Rafkin to be skating towards the corner in that situation other than to throw Stankoven off the pursuit. So there's interference. So that was the accidental elbow. That really was accidental. When the stick goes towards the board, you have to leave your backhand up in the air. Kapanen eats O'Rourke's elbow and then grabs his jersey, and Christopher Holm just says, play on. I'll give you both a penalty or nobody a penalty. Here's a chance to really stretch it out.
5 different power play goal scorers for Canada in the tournament. Kent Johnson.
Trying to find Bedard at some point.
Zellweger shoots. Carolina save. Rebound back in front to McTavish. Stankoven back with it. Toss it goes to Johnson. Works that back to Zellweger. Feeds it across to Stankoven. Johnson holds. Feeds it back in front. Bouncing puck up the goal post. And Marilainen somehow keeps that out. McTavish and Bedard both looking back as the puck was right on the line.
Stankoven, a good job finding a seam to Johnson. And Johnson looking to go back against the grain for a stick. McTavish or Bedard, they both want it. They're both presenting their sticks. Bedard gets the first piece, caroms around, hits the post, and it's just so rare that McTavish has been able to find it off his skate, off the post, and then, oh, he jams it back in as well.
Picked out by Bedard. Connor Bedard back for Johnson. Kent Johnson slithers in. Feeds it down to McTavish. At the point is Zellweger. McTavish shoots, scores! And Mason McTavish has his 7th of the tournament. And Canada's got a 5-1 lead. And that's another new power play goal scorer for Canada.
Just a shooting clinic being put on by these top players for Canada. Mason McTavish goes upstairs. All starts with Connor Bedard winning a puck battle race off a scrum draw, keeping it alive, and then a rotation. McTavish slides into Johnson's spot. Says, you know what? I think I want a one-timer. Zellweger drag him to the middle, create a bit of a softer angle so it's not so downhill, a little more square. And McTavish gets the elevation he's looking for. Makes no mistake. Mason McTavish has every shot in the book. Like when it comes to putting pucks past goaltenders, he can do it all.
Scored his first NHL game with Anaheim last year. Scored twice in his first 9 before being sent back. Had a hat trick in his first game back with Peterborough. Later got traded to Hamilton. scored 20 goals in 29 games for them and went all the way to the Memorial Cup final. Oh yeah, played in the Olympics too.
Slip that in your February as well.
Now Ratu tries to feed it back across. Correa the save in tight. And another. Back goes to Putio. Putio works in. Brings it back around. And don't forget Dylan Garand holding Canada in the early going in this game. Putio winds and shoots. Garand the save. Rebound loose in front. Rolled away from Ratu. Now a centering pass. Herman and shoots. Garand another save.
Take another breakaway.
Dufour comes busting in once again on Yermo. And Dufour tried to pull a stick out of there as Yermo had it. Away comes Yermo, shoots off the skate of Cormier wide, got it up by Sabrango. Denwyer up for Wong. Rink wide to Cormier, who bats that back down to the finish zone. Emil Viro moves it back out. Viro in on Cormier. Viro gets a step, sends it back in front. That's fluttered wide. Viro back with it. Emasami back in for Viro. He's got Gaucher all over it. Now Del Mastro shields off Yarvanti. Emasami to Viro. Great wide pass, and fending on that was Mata. Mata stepped hard into Cormier in the corner. And Cormier lost the handle for a moment. Yarvanti centers it, knocked down by Del Mastro. And finally moved out by Canada. Emasami to Viro. Jumping in is Väisänen. Valley Väisänen. That's spilled in the corner by Del Mastro. Väisänen back in for Rafkin. Forster got Cruncher along the boards.
But he made the play, didn't he? Took the hit, popped it back, allowing for a controlled exit here, and ideally not a turnover by Kent Johnson, because he needs two defensemen to get off the ice.
Rafkin winds in, shoots. That's blocked by Del Mastro. Another centering pass that got away from Liukas. Picked out now by Johnson. He got spun around at center ice, and again, Canada can't get this defense pair off. Del Mastro to Cormier. Up ahead along with a discarded stick for Stankoven to Johnson. In comes Kent Johnson as time winds down. Thompson back around for Johnson, tries to center it. And Thompson bats out ahead to Stankoven. Move back down the Canadian zone. Zellweger goes back. And icing's called against the Finns. So Dylan Garand has stood tall here for Canada so far in this tournament. We say Dylan Garand, and we want to get the names right. There's his dad, Lauren. He says Garand. So he asked him, well, could you guys decide which one's which? He said, well, he's the famous one. We'll go with Garand. By the way, this coming Saturday is Lauren Garand's birthday. When he saw the World Junior schedule come out and realized his birthday was on the day of the gold medal game.
Quite a present for Mr. Garand, or however they want to say it.
Garand. See now, here's the problem. Now I'll double clutch every time. The kid says Garand. That's what we say.
Parents don't want me saying how we say our names anymore. Garand it is.
You played with one of the McCulloch brothers, right?
I played with Zvanek.
It was Milan as well. They couldn't decide. One said Mahalik, one said McCulloch. And
brothers.
Chaos ensued. Canada adds two more here in the second period. Goals by Gregg and McTavish. It's a 5-1 lead for Canada. It's the final day of the opening round of the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship. Our second mission with James Duffy, Bob McKenzie, Cheryl Pounder, and Jeff O'Neill is coming up.
Our friends at Sport Logic now have it at 18-8 in favor of Canada for slot shots from that goal-scoring area, and 5-1 in goals so far as the Canadians dominate Finland through two periods of play. Your second period scoring summary: Mason McTavish now with 7 goals. That is 3 more than anybody else in the tournament. Just a couple of Americans are tied at 4 each, so he's dominant as he leads the goal-scoring race and the point-scoring race here at the World Juniors. The third period now with Gord Miller and Mike Johnson.
You know, Mike, when you started the tournament, you might not have talked about Ridley Gregg at the top of the list of guys that would be key for Canada, but he has been so far.
He really has. He's established his role, and he's come to be the guy that Dave Cameron leans on when setting the tone for the game. And right from the opening faceoff, Ridley Gregg said, you know what? I am here to play for keeps. And he and his line have been fantastic throughout. And they were initially tasked with, yes, you got to take Atu Ratu's line off the board and play good defense, but you think about the offense that they've created along the way, whether it's that goal, the power play goal for Forrester. DeForest had multiple looks, multiple breakaways. Waz picked up more points again. They have been a catalyst at 5-on-5 to tilting the ice decidedly in Canada's favor in the second period. And it wasn't meant to be like that. They kind of got together in the middle of the second game of the round robin, but they have been pivotal to Canada's 5-1 lead and strong second period.
William Dufour, the Memorial Cup MVP, and a couple of breakaways in that second period. Ridley Gregg's played on the edge for a while. He got suspended. After an NHL preseason game, got suspended in Brandon for a while.
He's a gamer. You know, he's just a hockey player. He just gets involved.
Johnson got knocked off the puck for a moment. Puck loose at the line and picked back up by Tyson Forrester, who scored a key goal in this game. Power play marker in the first period. Stankoven belted down by Puttio. Still to come tonight, Sweden and Germany will battle. Sweden coming off that loss last night to the United States, which clinched first place in Group B last night. Johnson off the skate of Forrester out the center ice to McTavish as Canada changes. This is McTavish along with Gaucher and Cooley.
The secondary checking role is they're trying to roll kind of two checking lines, and then McTavish can double shift with an offensive line as well. Got to be paying attention on the bench because you're having some unusual combinations as Dave Cameron's picking defense to start the third.
Cormier with it, knocked down by Vero. Onosalmi. Back to Brad Lambert. Lambert was benched by the Finns for the entire third period of their game against Slovakia after taking a penalty that cost them a goal in the second period. Now picked up by McTavish, trying to poke that ahead. Gaucher finds it, McTavish in with Cooley. McTavish walks in and shoots. He whistled that wide. Shot that was.
Just on the net ripple on the outside of the post by McTavish.
In comes Joel Mata, walks in, drops it back, and that shot by Järventie that was blocked by Sabrango. That took a bite out of Donovan Sabrango. Another shot that's deflected high by Mata, and the puck goes up and out of play, and Sabrango shaken up at the end of that sequence.
Some of those expressive we've seen Mason McTavish says he's disappointed he didn't finish the shot. Yeah, he does get the outside of the net. And he's slowing down, not really looking to pass, but allowing his winger to freeze the goaltender before electing to shoot short side. He's played an awful lot in this game as well.
Puck banked down and icing called against Canada. And Mason McTavish is climbing the ranks for Canada. Leads the tournament in goals. Second in assists, leads in points. He had a +7.
Helps the plus minus. I mean, you got to think the all-time record for Canada is 18 in the tournament. Does have a point potentially producing quarterfinal matchup available.
Might have one, yeah.
But what will matter is the fact that he's producing against a good team. Right? He's got 1-on-1 against Finland. It's going to get tougher against Sweden in the U.S. and Finland again in the semifinals.
Zellweger lays that back. John Anderson and Dale McCourt share the Canadian record for most goals in one World Junior. They had 10 each in the first IIHF World Junior back in 1977.
John Anderson. Yeah, I frequent his burger joint in Toronto. Great burgers.
You know, maybe not what he wants to be best known for.
Well, in Scarborough.
Here comes Herbert and shoots. He fired that wide.
That one in the mesh. This one will get blown dead if they score here because that rippled
That puck went over the glass.
over the glass.
Niemela knew it. Kind of looked back at the referee. Here's Niemela back with it. Ratu back to Niemela. Shoots, score! Hit by Herbert, and so this is going to come into play.
This will not count.
The Canadians are arguing right away.
And they're telling the referees they know Dufour and Roy are right on it. I can see it clear as day right in front of us. So this will take a moment to sort through. This point shot tip in front by Campbell. And a beautiful tip to get it past the goaltender, but Canadian bench will see this quite quickly that to the left of Dylan Garand, the puck went into the mesh. And got to find a look that they can see before they can challenge it.
So this is not the same as an offside challenge. You won't have the same kind of look.
And there's only limit to how long it takes. I saw it. It's right in front of me. I said it during the play.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would actually matter because they would score. But this puck went into the mesh, and they're going to take a look.
Team Canada, coaches challenge for missed stop it or play.
Okay, so here's the wrister. So that's the one. Hirvonen puts it in off a stick. And we need to see it to get up, though. I mean, you see it drop down. You see Niemela. Look at Niemela's body language. He knows the play's over because he saw it go in the mesh. He stopped playing. That's not going to be conclusive enough. We need to see it hit the mesh
and
ripple it. And if we don't have a look at it, then they can't take it away, even though they should. Again, you know, even Ridley Gregg stopped playing as well. Watch 17 on Canada. He doesn't bother to try to play the puck on the boards because he knows. He's just, look at Greg. He's like, I don't really need to dig in here because puck hit the mesh. But until they find a shot that shows it, and there's Ridley Gregg going back. Yeah, play's over. So all the circumstantial evidence is pointing very clearly that the players on the ice knew that this was out. Now the referee on the back wall, and Greg's there, hang on, he goes right to the bench. We're fine. The referee on the back wall went into the mesh right over top of his head. So it's a lot harder to look up over top of you and see it because his back's against the boards right in front of him. We have a great angle. It's 70 feet from us and was very clear to me that it got into the mesh.
And a complicating factor, apparently the monitor at the timekeeper's bench has died.
I thought they were picking up some I didn't know you could read it until we got the challenge. How's it going, eh? You know that was out.
They're talking. There it is. You know that was out.
Greg is talking to the Finns.
Yeah. Yeah, we both stopped playing.
We both stopped playing. That's what Raptor just said. We both stopped playing. You know that was out. That was really Greg saying, you know that was out. Sorry, I was talking to Ratu. So they kind of acknowledge right there that the players on the ice saw it, but this doesn't show me.
Right.
Everybody, Ratu, Greg, Niemela, all the guys who had the line of sight to it going out stopped playing. That's Ratu right there. Yeah, no one. But until they see it, I don't know if there's some sort of shot from the far end from somewhere.
They have a blue line camera that we don't have, so this may be inconclusive. It's called a goal on the ice.
It's not inconclusive. It's unavailable, right? I mean, like there's some parts that, for whatever reason, it's just a blind spot.
So now the monitor's loading.
Look at the monitor. It looks like it's a spreadsheet right now. So I'm not sure that's going to help anybody with anything. And, it's 5-2 if this counts. We're only 3 minutes into the game.
In the third period. Yeah, and I think, that, and also going forward.
You don't want this to happen in a elimination situation, a gold medal winning situation.
So what's happening now is with the the video problem. We're told the video goal judge upstairs, the video judge is telling them what he sees.
It should not take long to relay the message. Either I can't find a replay that shows it, or I found a replay that shows it, and it's out.
Right.
So it's not a very complicated explanation. There's no rules interpretation here. It's just, did it get into the mesh or not? And it did. The fact of the matter is it did.
You know, we both saw it.
I said it middle of the game.
Okay, so here's the call being made, sort of.
I think it might count in the end.
I think it probably will count because I don't think there's no look that says the puck hit the mesh.
They don't trust my word, apparently.
And one more conference with the linesman. Here's the call from Christopher Holm.
After video review, the call on the ice stands. It's inconclusive. No bench minor. No bench minor penalty. The call is inconclusive upstairs.
So Canada not penalized here for the unsuccessful challenge because there's no look at it.
I'm having a hard time swallowing that. Like, it's almost like they're, well, we couldn't show it one way or the other, so we're not going to penalize you.
So the goal by Kemmel will count.
The goal will count, a really nice tip. But I don't know, like, rules are rules. It should be a penalty on Canada. Like, too bad there's no view of it. That's a tough break. And Greg knows right away that it went out. But a little test in adversity for Canada here. React to something not going their way.
That's an interesting interpretation of inconclusive. So what now?
I don't like that at all because it just opens up gray areas.
We all know you don't like that.
No, too bad. You challenged, it didn't work. Should be a penalty. Even if it should have worked.
So 7 minutes after
And this is probably what Finland's talking about. Why is there not a penalty here? They challenged, they were wrong. Play's not overturned. Why don't we get a why? Hey, he challenged down there. He was wrong. Play goal counted. Why is it not a power play?
Penalty keeps saying why.
That's what he's asking. The same question I'm asking.
Unbelievably said. Because this would be a key point if Canada
that's right.
up 5-2 and then go shorthanded against a lethal Finnish power play. Kemmel lays it back down, and Ratu comes back out. Ratu for Kemmel. Goes out towards the goal. In comes Kemmel. Shoots.
Into the mesh.
That's out.
Okay, so apparently it is protocol. If the call is inconclusive, it does nullify the penalty for being wrong on a challenge. But not surprisingly, the top line for Finland strikes again. That was Kemmel with his third of the tournament, and they've done the bulk of the scoring for Finland. And strike again to try to draw Finland back into this game.
In comes Kapanen. Can't get a shot away. Off the mask of Garand, losing the side of the goal. Glad we showed the combined goals and not combined points.
That's what we're here for.
Combined points for a line is one of the worst stats going. That puck was played with a high stick and play is called.
And it's important for Canada to park that decision that didn't go their way,
right,
and get back to playing, and don't play in your own end. And chance right here. Ooh. Off Sabrango's stick, off the helmet, and out the back door. Canada just go back to work what you did all second period, what you did to start the third period as well, to get the big lead.
Canada will have the choice for the quarterfinals on Wednesday should it win this game. And will likely choose the third quarterfinal slot. Starts at 10 o'clock local time on Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean,
what's your pregame meal for a 10 o'clock game? Not spaghetti at 7 a.m. I hope.
Sleep. Just sleep and come to the game.
Mike Johnson, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the thought of a 10 o'clock game in the morning, actually, the look on his face was of sheer horror.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Hero shoots over the glass and out. That's why you stop playing minor hockey.
That's it. That's another high slot tip there for Finland.
Yeah.
It's a couple times. Kemmel just scored a goal like that. That time it was Mainpa getting his stick on the point shot. And they sliding up into the hash mark area, trying to drag the Canadian defenders away from their net, keeping their sticks available.
Here's Putio. Had that knocked away. As Gaucher came in and Ostapchuk ran into Putio. Simon Tybel brings it back out. Kasper Simon Tybel, LA Kings third round pick. Goes up towards the goal and a big hit there by Gaucher as he belted down Roby Järventie. And Järventie not too pleased about that. Might have lost a chiclet on the play.
Did he get him into the curved dasher that's supposed to soften the blow of these kind of collisions? Fourth and out there, banging around, trying to reestablish some energy. Bill's got a little quiet here. Bench got quiet with that early goal by Finland. And that idea of keep skating, keep making plays. Keep skating, keep making plays. If you do that, the game will head right back the other way. Here's really Greg again, just chucking Ratu around on faceoffs.
A stolen moment here, but it's centering pass for Kemmel. And Duran got a piece of that. Ratu back down to Kemmel. Hirvonen tripped in the back of the net. And Kemmel has it back. Kemmel drops it off for Ratu. Feeds that back at the point. Penalty coming to Canada. Scooped up by Waugh, and with 14:44 to go in the third period, a high sticking call will go to Canada as Kemmel was clipped, and they're going to check and see. It'll be a 2-minute minor to Donovan Sabrango.
7 black, 2 minor, high stick.
Sabrango, best defenseman for Canada, goes to the box as that first line went to work in the offensive zone. Buying some time and drawing a penalty. Here you see Rango gets kind of caught across the neck, more than the face, but enough to draw the penalty. And an important kill now for Canada.
Finns roll for one of the power play. There's a shot by Ratu, and it's snagged by Garan.
A little tension in the building now for Canada.
Friends don't let friends be goalie parents. Here's Garan with a save on the Finnish power play.
Rides up his pad before snaring it out. And I can breathe. I can breathe now, says Dad. Yeah, it would be tough being a goaltender parent.
So if you're a goalie parent, when you walk out of the rink, the best outcome is that nothing happened.
I would find it exhausting to watch one of my kids play net in any sport, let alone in a tournament with the stakes like this one. I'm tired for him.
McTavish won that face-off, and on the backhand to the line, but not out. Niemela. Ratu. Rink wide, that shot fired wide by Putio. Ratu. Back down to Hirvonen. Ratu goes rink wide. Putio to Niemela. And Putio just miscued that, put it wide. Now Seaman can't clear it out. Simon Tybel. Bumped there by McTavish. It's picked off in front by Gaucher and played down the ice by Thompson. (30 to 20). The shots on goal in favor of Canada. Finns on their second power play, down 5-2. Kemmel goes at rink wide.
Yeah, that's a penalty.
Cooley knocked down Mayenpa, and so now the Finns will be 5-on-3 for 1 minute and 1 second.
That's a bad decision by Cooley. Trying to step up on a shifty forward. It's so difficult to time that perfectly, and if you don't, you're going to get a penalty. It's just hard to check that way. So Cooley trying to challenge at the low end. They're getting together, having a little chat about whether or not this could be 5 perhaps. Is it a knee on knee? Oh, it is. And actually, you know what? That is a pretty strong knee on knee. I would not surprise me to see if they go 5 review.
Which is the default. You can call a 5, video review it, and take it down to a 2 if you want. You cannot take a 2 and upgrade it to a 5.
Previous play is under review for a major penalty.
Wow. So they've called the 5, and they're going to take a look at it. It's a knee on knee. Now,
we saw the 5th major penalty in game misconduct called in the early game between Switzerland and Austria. It led to the game-winning goal by the Swiss.
And just food for thought as this is going on, the #1 unit had just finished a minute in the power play. Would have been tired.
Right.
Now they'll be well rested for the 5-on-3 and perhaps lengthy 5-on-3.
A couple of points here. One, in the IIHF, the outcome doesn't matter. How badly you're hurt doesn't matter. It's the action that gets reviewed. Secondly, they are more vigilant at this level than they might be at the senior level. They're more protective of teenage players than they would be at, say, at the World Championship.
Well, I like my knees at 25-year-old too.
Well, I understand that, but
yeah, listen, taking all that into consideration, the defense of Cooley would be he wasn't skating forward very fast. Like he's kind of standing still, lunging, as opposed to skating into a guy and having a really violent knee-on-knee collision. But he sticks his left leg out. And that to me is the knee. When you stick it out, it's trouble.
Robert Hennessy with the call.
After further review, we have a major penalty on the play for kneeing.
Yeah.
5-minute major.
Wow. This third period just got very interesting. So Cooley's out of the game. Got to get somebody else in the box.
So now, a 5-on-3 for 1:01. And a 5-minute major penalty against a team that came in 8 for 13 on the power play. And suddenly 5-2 doesn't look so comfortable.
And when you think that the second goal was a goal that should not have counted.
Right.
So now, you know, as this plays forward.
Now they set it up Niemela. Back across to Putio. That top line goes back to work. Ratu, Putio, Niemela, Hirvonen. Hirvonen drops it back. Putio shoots. Grand save, and he's got the loose puck. Hook it after the whistle. Del Mastro in there, along with Greg. So these penalty killers getting a workout for Canada.
Duran gets across to make a good save. This seam pass right here is a tough one. That's a good look. And Duran squeezes it. He knows it's in there somewhere. He knows he's dropping it, and it falls between his legs, but the whistle clearly had went. And Duran wants a whistle faster than that.
Now, the two Finnish defensemen came up into the scrum. As a result, the faceoff comes outside.
That's a bad call. Putio's putting the puck in the net. He's not in the scrum. He's putting the puck in the net. He's not scrumming it up with anyone. Niemela's hanging around the hash marks. That's a break for Canada.
Puck bounces across to Hirvonen. The Finnish captain plays it back to Niemela. Niemela to Putio. Ratsu to Putio to Niemela. Hirvonen back at the point. Shot that's blocked by Gregg. And that's staggered Ridley Gregg. Hirvonen plays it back across. Putio flooded that line. Hirvonen back on it. Ridley Gregg's really stinging for that blocked shot. Racing back is Niemela. 15 seconds to go in the first penalty. Hirvonen. In the corner with it. Hirvonen. Walks out, tied up by Gregg. Ratu plays it back in front. Ratu shoots. He fired that wide. Sabrango set the step back on the ice. Niemela to Ratu. Sabrango steps back on. Niemela shoots. Blocked in front again by Gregg. Rebound. Fired wide by Niemela. What a shift for Ridley Gregg. Barely able to stand up now. Niemela. Ratu feeds it back across. Putio blocked in front by Garrett. Rebound put wide. And now Del Mastro falls on it. Finland still on the 5-minute major power play.
Good play, good patience.
Del Mastro to Gregg, and Sabrango sends it off. And every Canadian player standing for Ridley Gregg. And the fans too. Tavish took down Himasami. He thought he was getting one. Kimmel, rink wide, picked off by Gaucher and set down the ice. (5-2) Canada leads. Finland on a long power play that included a 5-on-3 for over a minute. Kimmel chips it in. Kimmel knocks that back. Kimmel back to Himasami. To Järventie. Feeds it back in front. That was disrupted by Ostapchuk. Ostapchuk plays it back. Thompson fires it back down the ice.
Good recovery by Ostapchuk, putting some pressure on the point and then getting back to cover the seam pass.
McTavish back out there. Here's Hirvonen being tracked by the Canadian captain. With Simon Taival. Drops that back for Hirvonen. Hirvonen. That's picked up by Gaucher and sent back down the ice. He'll move off, and Gregg steps back on. Simon Taival winds it across the line, drops it back to Hirvonen. That pass broken up by Dufault. Picked up by Sealy and sent back down the ice. Inside 2 to go with a 5-minute major. And Niemela swings back to pick it up. The top defenseman of the 2021 World Junior Championship, Tupi Niemela. Feeds it back for Ratu to Hirvonen. Ratu back on it. And that puck was off the stick of Kapanen. Up and out. 10:21 to go here in the third period. Kimmel the goal. That was in controversial circumstances, but it counts. And Canada's lead cut to 3.
Everything you've seen me do was made possible by what you don't see. Because when you're not looking, I go to work. Strength isn't a given. It's grown. It's earned and tested. We all have the strength to see what's possible. It's up to us to unlock it. Tonal, be your strongest.
Really, Gregg, the center of attention on that 5-on-3 penalty kill and putting his body on the line. Desperation time right off his heel. Great shot block there. He was staggered, but he did not leave the ice. He hangs in there, trying to draw penalties, trying to get in the way, doing anything he can to get this power play killed off. And that's a really gutsy effort by him. That even the glove save attempt by gets Brendan Othman's attention to the penalty box, got the guys on the bench banging their sticks. And they recognize the kind of sacrifice he just put out there killing the penalty. And the best part about it, he was out there the next shift as well.
I think there might be some people in Ottawa smiling about that too.
Yeah, he's been full value. A lot about him in Ottawa and what a prospect he is. He is.
Himasami plays it back across. Kimmel shot, that time blocked by Sabrango. Now picked up by Gaucher. Lead pass to McTavish. In short-handed. Mason McTavish works in. He and Himasami collide. McTavish trying to pick that free. And now brought out by Kimmel. Joakim Kimmel drops it off for Mata. Kimmel centers it. And Kapanen flashed on that. Järventie works that back across to Kimmel. Skipped away from him for a moment. Minute to go in the 5-minute major. Himasami back across to Järventie in shoot. That was blocked by Thompson. Järventie centers it. Kimmel had to skip off his stick again. Here's Kimmel back with it. Drops it back to Himasami. Back for Kimmel. Has time and shoots. That's blocked by Sabrango off his hand. That took a bite out of him. Another chance, and Järventie put it high and wide, and Sabrango.
He's in trouble here. He got that open palm on his fingertips. It's trouble.
36 seconds to go in the 5-minute major. It's still 5-2.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. Attention! From 1953 to 1987, veterans and civilians were potentially exposed to toxic chemicals in the drinking water at Camp Lejeune. Exposure to these chemicals increases the risk for cancer and other health problems. If you or a loved one were diagnosed with a serious illness after being exposed to contaminated water at Camp Lejeune, you may be entitled to compensation.
Call Sokolov Law now at 1-800-835-6402. That's 1-800-835-6402.
FedEx Cup playoffs continue. Catch the third round of the BMW Championship, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on TSN and CTV2 on Saturday.
Canada trying to work off the end of this 5-minute major. Brango open palm, and it's just so easy to break your fingertips when you get your glove facing the wrong way. Maybe got a little more palm than fingertip, which might be a good thing. He was feeling that.
So the face-off in the Canadian zone, 36 seconds to go. In the NHL, you don't go to a TV timeout during a power play, but in the IIHF rules, during 5-minute majors, you can.
So Finland's had 2 TV timeouts during this 5-minute major. In full rest for their number 1 unit. Back on the ice they go. Brango had an ice bag on his left hand.
So Rantu for the face-off against McTavish. When Mason McTavish has played a load here today.
Seems like McTavish and Greg are out there every other shift.
Off the face-off win, set down the ice by Dufour. 30 seconds to go in this long power play, included 1:01 of 5-on-3. Lead pass for Ratu and across the line. That looked offside.
Close.
Ratu drops it back to Niemela. Cross to Putio, skipped off his stick. Seeley racing to it. Del Maestro gets to it. Now picked up by Greg on his backhand. A tough play, so Greg just eats the puck for a moment. Hirvonen back for Niemela. To Putio walking in the pass off his skate. Final seconds now of this power play. Putio with it. And they kill it off. On comes Hoffman. The shot by Hirvonen blocked, and Hoffman's away along with Dufour. Hoffman's fresh, just spent 5 minutes in the penalty box. But the play's offside at the finished blue line. And what a job by the Canadian penalty killers.
Bailing out their teammate, rising to the occasion, recognize the importance of the moment, and digging in
and the
all across the board.
And the Finns did not have a shot in the final 4 minutes of that power play.
So at 5-on-4, they did not have a shot, only at 5-on-3. It was a minute 5-on-3 to start that penalty. What a great job. The defensive group. We have a whole bunch of forwards here for Canada trying to get back into the game.
Right.
Last 8.5 minutes.
Haven't seen Bedard for a while, obviously. Here's Forster on it. Rolled away from him. Nemo Viro plays it in. Viro spins back. Lambert kicks at it. And moved out by Stankoven. Viro plays it around to Hamasami. Up for Hellenius. Surprised they don't use Hellenius on the power play, just to stand in front of the goaltenders. 6'6", 220 pounds.
You see Zdeno Chara down in front of the net at times. Same idea.
In comes Johnson with it now. Kent Johnson lines in. Shoots from a sharp angle. Save made by Maryland. Rebound. And Stankoven turned away. Brought up now by Lambert. Still to come tonight, Sweden and Germany in the battle for second place in Group B. And that sharp angle shot by Lambert knocked away by Garand. Pass bounces back to Cormier. Cross he goes to Zellweger. Cormier up for Johnson. And Johnson lines in. And the puck poked free by Yurmo. Johnson will get it right back to the point. He goes O'Rourke with a shot. Maryland save. Denway on the forecheck that's knocked by him. By Putio. O'Rourke snaps that pass into Denway. Carolina had the pass disrupted on the forecheck by Hoffman. Simon Tylo sends that rink wide. Picked up by Gaucher, who drops it back for Del Mastro. He finds Seeley with it. 6.5 to go here in the third period. Del Mastro. Up ahead to do 4. That chips down to Marijuana, leaves it there for Niemela. Niemela. First pass ahead for Hirvonen. Hirvonen tries to play it across, bouncing back for Ratsu, and Hirvonen hacked the rebound wide. So Mastro lost his stick as Ratsu falls. A penalty coming to Canada. It'll be a trip to Ethan Del Mastro. Finland back to the power play. 5:55 to go here in the third period. It's the final day of the preliminary round of the World Junior Hockey Championship 2022 here in Edmonton.
Now you can get your favorite jersey faster than ever at Fanatics.com. Introducing Fanatics MVP with next business day shipping. Official jerseys from all the leagues and teams you love. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
What does the future of strength look like? It's dynamic weight that adjusts for you in real time for a more efficient workout. And you can only experience it on Tonal.
Canada back to the penalty kill. There's more Ridley Gregg. You want to talk about a stat stuffing kind of night. He has been all over it. Face-off, hits, block passes, block shots, chirps, you name it. He's got a goal. He's got an assist. He's got a little bit of everything for Canada against Finland. And here in the third period, when they've been doing a lot of defending, he has been doing a fantastic job with that. Enough to keep his teammates' attention and maybe even smile on his dad. Mark, former NHLer, scout for the Flyers, got his Flyers gear on there. And he'd be pretty proud of how his son has played this one, that's for sure.
Latu centers it. Kemmel rather centers it.
DeBrango back out there, it's a good sign for Canada.
After blocking that shot earlier with his hand. Himasami works in on the power play. Feeds it back across. Kemmel, a hard shot. Grant the save.
No
his mask, and his mask is...
He said my strap's off. Like, look at it, ref. Come on, you're right behind him.
So his mask has become...
Yeah, but... So, you gonna make him flick it off? I mean, if you're standing right behind him, as Robert Hennessy is...
And he said, why didn't you blow it right away?
We can see it. You can hear it. You can watch the two straps. You see them flopping around in the back. Tells you, you're right behind him. You're right there. Why would you not blow this down? There it is. The strap is right there.
The strap of the mask is off, so...
Yeah.
Face off, won by a stop chuck, and the puck sent back down the ice.
You got to get the Dwayne Rollison neck roll. Snap it off anytime you want.
I think...
Shrug of the shoulders, helmet comes off.
He could scratch his head, have that thing come off. Away comes Hirvonen. Back across to Simon Taival. Niemela plays that back in. Putio plays it down to Hirvonen. Ratu back for Niemela. Rocket shot that goes wide. Niemela back for Ratu. He mishandled the puck, and it's moved out by Desnoyers. 45 seconds to go in this finished power play. Another penalty coming to 4 is going to go off. Holy. So it's going to be a 5-on-3 for 29 seconds here.
Not making life easy on themselves to finish this game off is Canada.
Team Canada, 25 minor tripping.
Yeah, you reach like that, and that's, you know, get it between the legs and a crossover. They're going to fall every time. It's going to be a penalty every time. And 29 seconds on a 5-on-3. If Finland's able to get one before the first penalty expires, And this was a power play coming in this game that was clicking along at 62%, not the group you want to keep putting out there.
It was lethal. Much tougher competition here. Järventie plays it back. Heimosalmi works it back in. Kimmel off the outside of the post. This power play got them back in the game against Czechia when they were down 2-0. Heimosalmi fired it wide. Wound up winning that game in a shootout. Heimosalmi wanders in, feeds it across. Kimmel walks it and shoots. Little leg in front. Sabrango back on it. 5-on-3 almost over, and now is as Del Mastro steps back on. Heimosalmi feeds it across. Kimmel floated that high and wide. So Canada kills off another two-man advantage for Finland. About a minute and a half but here in the third period. Järventie swings it back, and the Finns are pulling their goaltender. Quick shot, scores. Järventie, just as the extra skater came on. It's a power play goal. Now 5-3 with 3:37 to go. So the Finns pull their goaltender. The player came on, wasn't a factor, but the goal is scored nonetheless by Robbie Järventie.
Good job going through the seams. Right through. As part of the problem is here is you got Del Mastro out there, a defenseman, stepping out of the box and no idea what he's doing up top. You know, he's too high, he's not protecting the seam underneath, which is normal because he's not used to be playing up there. And Moran gets it in his glove. Now he's upset he didn't squeeze that one in the glove and into the back of the net. And 5-3, 3:37 left. Plenty of time to keep pushing.
You think now about the 5-on-3s that got away for the Finns. That, you know, that not just the 5-on-3, but the 5-minute power play.
Yeah. If I'm Canada, I'm thinking, well, the goal that started this whole thing shouldn't have counted. So let's see if we can't grind this game to a conclusion.
Well, Canada has taken all 4 penalties here in the third period. Now a centering pass and a quick chance for Logan Stankoven, and a point-blank save made there by Meriläinen.
Stankoven's been around it, just can't find a back of the net for a guy who scored so much in the regular season, 45 with Kamloops. And C24 Del Mastro, so he's playing up top, and he gets dragged a little too high, and that allows the seam to go underneath. And Järventie right in the glove. He's right there. He's trying to keep it outside the post, and it trickles in.
Face-off won by Stankoven. Long shot by Thompson. He fired that high and wide. The line held by Zellweger. Rolling puck. He shoots that wide.
And if you're Canada, be aware if Finland gets the puck in the offensive zone for the goalie to come.
In comes Thompson. Shoots. That's punched away. We've barely seen Connor Bedard here in the third period.
2 shifts in this period, maybe.
All the penalty killing that's gone on. Johnson, rink wide to Forster, but it's called offside at the Finnish blue line.
So Canada trying to collect their breath, get those skating legs going. And I think at this point, given the score 5-3, and given the fact that Connor Bedard has been sitting there for basically the entire third period, I think Dave Cameron's elected to just kind of play 3 checking lines to finish off the game. I don't think we'll see Connor Bedard again. And often, same thing. He sat the 5 minutes. He's barely played, so the first 2-line wingers haven't really played in the third period.
And you didn't get benched on purpose.
No, it's not for lack of just playing well. It's a function of game management and caution.
So icing here against Canada.
Time to go.
Back down. Do you think that?
Yep.
Yeah. So Coach Antti Pennanen is going to pull goaltender Leevi Meriläinen with 2:32 to go. The face-off in the offensive zone for the Finns. It'll be 6-on-5.
And you want to let him go now. Don't take your time out.
Ratu will take the face-off against McTavish. Ratu wins that back. Here's Hirvonen. Hirvonen shoots off the skate of a stop chuck. Hirvonen shoots. And Duran got a piece of that. Helenius plays it back around for Puutio. In comes Puutio. Puutio plays it down to Hirvonen. 6 skaters on 5 for the Finns, broken up by Thompson. Niemela. Back for Puutio. In comes Niemela. Ratu feeds it across to Puutio. In shoots. He fired that wide. McTavish gets to it, just takes a 2-handed whack at that. Empty net for a stop check. Gains center ice. Finds Dufour. Dufour in. Shoots. Scores. William Dufour, empty net goal, and Canada's back up by 3.
Wasn't pretty. It was Dufour in the box when Finland scored their 3rd goal. But he salts this one away with the empty netter. Here's Pudio with his chance as Rand makes a good blocker save there. McTavish probably gets another assist here as he chops it up, and Stapchuk and Dufour kind of kick it around, take a couple slashes, and I'm all for being unselfish. But if you're Dufour, you're not trying to pass that to a Stapchuk. You gotta end this game. Put it in the middle of the empty net, get that 3-goal back, and say enough's enough.
William Dufour, native of Quebec City, is an Islander 5th-round pick. Led the Quebec League with 56 goals in 66 games, and in the Memorial Cup, scored 7 times in 4 games. That's one off the tournament record for goals in one Memorial Cup. That's Dale Howardchuk, Luke Robitaille, and Pat Falloon. This game began with Finland dominating the first 5 minutes, and Canada poured it on. But in the 3rd period, penalty trouble, some controversy. A goal by Finland that probably shouldn't have counted, a 5-minute major to Canada. And the lead got snug at 5-3, but now a 6-3 advantage.
Game of 3 different periods where the first one pretty even. Canada didn't play great, but they were opportunistic. Second period, Canada, maybe the best period they played all tournament, dominant, and then just kind of hung on. And on the 3rd, penalty trouble. But they're going to get the win in the end. Mission accomplished.
Cormier winds and shoots. It goes off the shin pad of Helenius. 30 seconds to go here in the 3rd. Johnson for Stankoven. Back to Kent Johnson. Stankoven to Johnson. Rolling puck. Feeds it back across. Missed Forster with it. Tyson Forster scored a very big goal for Canada in the 1st period. The power play goal. Extended the lead. Connor Bedard scored a fantastic goal. Will be talked about for days. As time winds down here in the 3rd period. They knew it would be their toughest test yet. And it was. Canada wins it 6-3, a 4-0 record. And now advances to the quarterfinals. And there, Canada will take on Switzerland on Wednesday. This is the day when the offensive stars were the story early on, and then the penalty killers, forwards and defense, became the story in the 3rd period.
Need a little something from everyone to beat a good team. Finland's a good team, and everyone had a role to play, played it pretty well. And there'll be some stuff to work on in closing out games for Dave Cameron and the group, but grand, solid. And the good news for Canada is they probably feel they can play better in a more complete game than what they just played, and they were still able to win, secure 1st, whatever that means for your matchups on into the quarterfinals.
Time now for the player of the game presentations, and then the Canadian anthem.
The best player of each team is awarded a one-of-a-kind hockey stick, hand-painted by one of Canada's most prolific contemporary Indigenous visual artists, Jason Carter. The prizes will be presented by Mike Klein, owner and operator of Stellar Homes, warm-up partner of the IIHF World Junior Championship, and Sean Power, manager of Terminal Operations and Security with Edmonton International Airport. The best player of Team Finland est le numéro 21, number 21, Alexis Hemosalmi.
Hemosalmi, the defenseman, a 2nd-round pick of Carolina, was the top defenseman at the under-18 tournament last spring.
The best player of Team Canada est le numéro 17, number 17, Ridley Gregg.
So this is chosen by the Team Canada management. They don't often pick the same player twice. Greg's already won one. How could you not?
Can't ignore him in this game. He played so well, instrumental offensively, penalty killing, checking line, face-offs, you name it, all over this game.
So now it's on to the quarterfinals on Wednesday.
Now please rise for the national anthem of Canada. Maintenant, merci de vous lever afin d'écouter l'hymne national du Canada.
Finland made things a bit interesting down the stretch, but overall a dominant performance by Canada.